Yup, it's not connecting. I mean, I'm connected on the YouTube, but it's not connecting to the radio. Guess they not getting a show tonight. Man, I don't listen, man. I'm not technically proficient when it comes to troubleshooting this when this thing malfunctions. There's only like a couple things you can do, and it's obviously not working for some strange reason. So I don't know, man. I guess they're not listening on Track Talk Radio tonight. But oh well. Anybody who listens on there, better just go to the YouTube channel. That's the only thing I can tell them. But they're gonna be missing out on some good music. Damn, this is a bummer. We're trying to get it to connect for a little bit. It's not working. Ooh, good lord. Shout out to the ladies on at the subway off of Rainier Avenue. Always making my sandwiches, right? It is hot as shit in this room. I'm not even gonna lie to you. So if I start to glisten and then fade away a little bit, it's probably because I have heat stroke. Don't call 911 though. Just let me rest. Yeah, this junk not working. So I guess there is no show on Track Talk Radio tonight, but oh well. Listen, I tried to do everything I could to get it to work and reached out to the appropriate people, but hey, not gonna reply. We're not gonna have no show. It is what it is, man. I guess I could always just shut it down and see what happens when we reopen it, but nigga, I did that already. I'll try one more again. Anyway, welcome to the Meanquil Jackson Show. I'm live on YouTube. That's it tonight. It won't connect to the radio, but oh well. Is it a packed show? I don't know if it's a packed show tonight. There's definitely stuff. I keep looking down because I'm trying to see if it's going to connect. That way, if it does, I can start the music. Oh, nope. Just when you thought it was about to, and then it disappointed. But welcome to the show. I don't know if it's going to be a live show. And when I say live, I mean like crazy stuff, high levels of intense excitement. I don't know if it's going to be like that. It might just be chill tonight. Got a few stories that I'm going to go over. Obviously, man, we want to, we're still seeking justice for Breonna Taylor. I'm still on the subway diet. It's still hot as hell in here. People are still irritating the hell out of me on a daily basis. But, such is life. All right, I'm done with this because it's not working. So I did everything I could. If anybody involved with Try Talk Raiders listening, I did everything I could. Shit doesn't work, so I'm not worried about it. Did I try putting it in Rice? Markel, I wish I could put the radio station, like the program that I use, I wish I could put it in Rice. Because, man, this thing don't be acting right. This happens all the time. And literally, it should be as simple as like hitting the connect button, and then the encoder starts, and then I press play and the music just plays. Do it all the damn time. And then every so often, this type of BS will happen. But it is what it is, man. We'll see. Maybe it'll connect in the second hour. I don't know. We'll see. Let's see. I need to try putting my life in Rice, because then maybe some things will start to crack off a little bit differently. Mainly there are some good things, man. Got this project, Black Forever. That's about to drop soon. By tomorrow, I'll have all the information ready to be passed out to all the participants. We'll get some times in order over the next couple weeks. We'll start the process of doing and recording these sessions. And then I will spend time editing them. I'm actually going to take time to learn some of the stuff and put it together, because I'm just going to be honest. Nobody wants to help do that shit. I've made it very clear that I had zero editing skills. Absolutely no one who has ever been associated with me wants to help. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take time. I'm just going to learn it, and I'm going to do it because I want to put this stuff out, because it's important that this project be put out to represent all these amazing Black entrepreneurs and creators that I'm going to connect with. You didn't want to help out? Hey, listen, it's your loss. Sorry for you. I think I'm also going to end up making my own logo because there's a handful of people, and there are people who watch this show that tried to connect me with their people, and their people flaked. And you know what that means? That means those people suck because I reached out as a business inquiry. That means I was willing to pay you money to build me a logo. You didn't want to do it. So I think I'm just going to draw something up, man. I don't draw well, but I can trace the hell out of some, newspaper clippings or something. Yeah, I said I'll trace the newspaper clippings. I'm gonna put together a crazy logo. It's gonna be lit, man. But all this stuff is gonna be done, and then when this series drops, everything is gonna go off with hopefully less than 10 hitches. That's what, that's what I'm hoping for. Less than 10, and it's a success. So, Black Forever coming soon. I'm very excited. I've got to speak with some wonderful people. I don't want to say a whole lot about anybody that I've connected with because I want you to find out about them if you don't already know after you watch the series or anything else that they're a part of. Because like I said, what's going to happen is we're going to record their sessions. They're going to be put out every single week. And then the week that I put their session out, I'm hoping to have them on one of the live shows, whether it be this show, which is the Memeco Jackson show, or the Starters on the Bench podcast. And then they'll be able to talk about, how they feel after the interview, what are some of the takeaways from our conversations, like we're going to just get into it. And then I'll basically let them, talk themselves up. And then you can go back and you can watch, the Black Forever segment that I did with them. That is the plan. That's the hope. So I'm shooting for sometime in, I don't know. I want to try to roll them out like no later than like October 1st. That's my hope. But who knows? Things change. We're in a weird time. I got to make sure that everybody's available. Everybody can get their sessions recorded. Everybody can submit their logos if they have them, any business cards, any merch that they want to show and send to me, anything like that. There's a lot of stuff that has to be done, but hey, it's all going to get done. I think this is going to be a wonderful project, and I'm happy to put this on and be a part of it because then I'm going to be able to look back in 10 years in the same way that I listen to music. I'm going to be looking at these interviews being like, oh, this shit was so dope, and these people are so amazing. Like, the thing with me is that I'm looking for reasons to talk about people forever. Same way I do with musicians, actors, athletes. We talk about these people as if they are legends. Why can't that be people that we actually know? Black people that's down the street. Black people that's in medical school trying to become a doctor. The person that's trying to become a lawyer. The person that owns their own clothing company. The person that's, producing and making music and doing all these things. Why can't we hype these people up that we know? Even if they're local, they could be out of state. It don't matter. I've connected with some people who aren't even in the Seattle area, which I love. And people think that this is only a local thing. No, hell no. It's for everybody. If you know a nigga that's staying in Indonesia, he can be on the show for all I care. Listen, we're trying to highlight as many voices as we can. I'm going to try to do this as long as I possibly can. Why not? There's a lot of black people. Like, a lot of these people are amazing. They're great. They have wonderful personalities. They have amazing stories that need to be shared and also need to be heard by people. And we are in a time now where it's more important than ever to share these stories. That way we can help create more allies, especially out of these ones that these people that don't understand why we cry out the way that we do and why we do the things that we do. They need to see us. They need to see us in our element. They need to learn to respect us and our crafts and what we do and the skills that we have and the goals that we have set for ourselves and our families. They need to learn to respect that stuff. This is just another thing that can be used as a teaching tool for those people who are haters, doubters, the non-believers. To all you non-believers. God, that was so funny. Bart Scott, classic moment. But you see how I'm still talking about Bart Scott from him doing an interview like 10 years ago. That's funny as hell. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, he's an American football player. I say that because that's how all the Wikipedia pages sound. Bart Scott is an American football player. He played for the New York Jets, and then after one interview, he was talking about all the people that didn't believe in their team, and they ended up winning the game. Blase, blase, blase. At the end, the guy goes, "See you in Pittsburgh," and he says, "Can't wait." It's classic. You should check it out. It's like 2 minutes worth of your time. It's hella funny. But anyway, I want to be able to share these stories for a lifetime. And I think this is the perfect way to do it. So I'm super excited. See, me and Sherry are connecting right now. Sorry, Sherry. I don't know what happened. I'm trying to get the station to work. It's not connecting. But anyway, Black Forever coming soon. And if you know people, I have 3 more spots available. 3. That means we already got 7 people lined up, man. So look, 3 spots. Let me know. DM me today or by the time you see this. And I hope it's not too late by the time you see this. If you were somebody watching this and you know people, you better tell them, listen, man, spots are filling up. If this is something they really wanted to do, they better jump on it. A lot of these people are all trying to make a come up. I'm trying to do the same for myself, but the way I want to do it is by sharing stories. I don't want anybody, y'all don't need to interview me. I'm a lame. But I'm trying to highlight you because you're about to be very successful in your own right. And if you believe in yourself, you're planning to convince me to believe in you. And I'm going to do that. And I'm going to try to support you for a lifetime. So why not reach out? It ain't going to kill you. Hit me up. I would say that there's about to be music playing, but that's not finna happen. Let me stop laughing. I feel bad for Track Talk Radio. Again, it's hot as hell in here. I got the fan going, but I don't know if the fan, it literally doesn't feel like the fan is doing anything. It feels like the fan is under the table, but it feels like it's just blowing hot air onto my shins. I don't like it. I do not like this. Let's try to connect. Get money. It's not working. Okay. I also have this comedy rap album coming. And I'm in the process. I've been writing some of the songs for that. And I will tell you this. The shit is funny as hell. I think it's funny. After this is all said and done, it's recorded and these songs drop and no one listens to them. The thing I'm going to love the most is being able to look back and think of all the laughs that I shared with myself while writing the album. Because it literally is stupid funny. I'm trying to think, what's my favorite cut so far? Because when I write songs, like I hear the beat, I listen to it like 5-6 times, and I write it, and it's done. My pen isn't always the greatest, but sometimes that shit's pretty fire. Obviously, I go back, I proofread, I tweak, and do things that are necessary to make sure that the shit is hot, but I'm just going to take some old beats that we all love. Again, this is not for profit. It's literally just for laughs. I'm going to put some of these records together. I think my favorite one is probably, I got a record called Chinese Food. That's pretty lit. And if you've ever heard the song, it's called Deja Vu with Mike Posner and Boys to Men. Yeah. My version is called Chinese Food, and it's finna be lit. And you probably won't get it in this moment, but if you've ever heard me singing the song, you can hear me saying the hook because I sing it very often. And now what you're going to get is you're going to get lyrics, bars. And this shit is going to be hot. So I'm really looking forward to this little comedy album. I think it's going to be funny. I think people will enjoy it. If you're just looking for laughs, like I said, it's not serious. It's strictly for laughs. That's it. If you're going into it thinking, oh, I'm trying to see my man like really go in and we're trying to send him to the rap league and no. This is literally just for laughs. It's something stupid that I think is funny that I want to do because I've always wanted to do this. So now, why not? Chinese food. That record's going to be crazy. You can come over and we can eat Chinese food. I'm dying. And I'm also dying because it's hot as flames in here. I do not like it. All right, let's see what I got for y'all, man. So your man, okay, we're going to start by talking about Donnie for a little bit. Donnie's as dumb as it gets. We all already know that. Donnie's a dumb guy. But he said today, I didn't even want to read it. Now I'm to the point where I don't even be reading his shit. I just read like the couple of sentences because you don't need a whole lot of context to be like, oh yeah, this shit is dumb. So apparently my man wants to maybe push back the election or some shit like that because he doesn't want to lose. I don't understand like why buddy thinks he can just do whatever he wants. Like, and the stuff that he says, like, even was it like last week? Did you realize that your man was saying that he was gonna throw the first pitch out at the Yankees game? And then he was like, oh, I had to cancel that. But they never invited him to do that. He literally got on TV and told millions of people that he was planning to cancel something that he was not scheduled for. Your man is off the chain. It's crazy. He just like he literally says and does whatever he wants. He's one of the absolute dumbest people walking the earth. He has to be. There's no way that you like he really woke up today and was like, listen, y'all, I don't like the way this voting thing is going. And I really think that in my best interest, we should push the election back or maybe cancel it. Let me just be the president. Like he just really wants this job, but it's like, fam, you're not cut out for the job. We've said this over and over again. And I love that he goes to rallies and doesn't wear a mask. But then like even his loyal supporters, they go to these rallies with him. And they end up not wearing their mask and they die. You're not going to take cues from your man Herman Cain, bro. I mean, RIP, we're not trying to, make fun of his death. Oh, excuse me. Kick the damn thing, as usual. We're not trying to make fun of his death or nothing, but your man showed up to one of your rallies early in the pandemic, and then he was fighting COVID for mad long. And now Buddy has lost that battle, and he is, he's passed on from coronavirus because he didn't want to wear a mask. But Donnie doesn't wear a mask either. Everything he does confuses the shit out of me. Like he wants the schools to reopen. Nigga, why? You're trusting all these little kids to keep their mask on all day? Listen, fam, I'm telling you right now, it's not gonna happen. These little badass kids ain't finna keep these masks on. You ever seen a kid cough before? Mouth wide open. And somehow gravity always forces their head to lean directly towards the closest human being while they cough. And if it's a kid their size, those kids are literally coughing directly into each other's mouths because that's how gross kids are. And you want one teacher to put a stop to that. Donnie, he just says the dumbest thing. What did he say recently that was also so dumb? There's just so many. I mean, you pick any of them. This shit is crazy. Him, who else is dumb? What's his name? Turkey Neck. William Barr. Big Turk. Big Turkey Neck. He was on there talking crazy at the Senate when he was getting called out by Miss Lady because he tried to pretend like he didn't realize the magnitude of the people protesting way back when they first were protesting having to wear the mask. And the fact that these people pulled up to the Capitol buildings, got the rifle out, open carry, they're doing whatever they want to do. He wasn't thinking nothing of it. My man's like, well, we don't got to deploy federal troops. we save those. We got to save them for all the Negroes. So then when we start, protesting, doing all this stuff, and then he gotta send them, and they say that they're carrying out Trump's agenda, his orders, all these things. Like, bro, this guy's probably sitting at home right now Googling what type of potato he is. He don't care nothing about what we got going on. He just out here making a mess. And it's crazy to think the amount of people that literally like back him. Like when you see people yelling out, yeah, Trump 2020. Let me put another dip in and then spit one out for my brother Donald. Like, I see why they don't see it though. Because they're so dumb. They can't see it. They can't see how dumb this guy is because they're dumber than he is. That's sad. That's so sad. I feel like I literally just had a moment. And now I feel for these people because you're all so dumb. You're being finessed. And this is not hate speech by any means. I'm just saying, I have to let you know because you're not going to be able to see it for yourself. This is like when you have, well, I was going to say like when you have a friend. Obviously, these people are not my friends. But this is like when you have a coworker who continues to go back to a really terrible relationship, but then want to ask you for your advice all the time. What should I do? We've been telling y'all to get the F away from this dude, but you swear that he's the best for you. And then you've become increasingly angry when we've told you how dumb he is. And now you want all of us to disappear because you think if we go away, that life will be easier for you based on him being your president. When y'all low-key don't realize this whole time you've been getting finessed. So some dusty brother like me, I just be sitting over here laughing at you dummies. Let's see. What is this? Oh, Markel, I see your comment. Hilarious. Yeah, this is very interesting. My man literally is trying to postpone the election. You see what happens when you give a dummy a little bit of power and the keys to the whip? This nigga want to drive it every day. He want to drive a stick every day. He don't know how to drive a stick. All he does is grind the gears. He's ruining the transmission every single freaking day. But the people who own the car keep letting him take it out of the freaking driveway. What is wrong with y'all? How do y'all not see it? He's not equipped to drive the car that we're all riding in. Shit is crazy. All right, let's get to some funny stuff. So on one of my, either Tuesday or last week, it was Tuesday, talked about how there was this petition because they want Tory Lanez to get deported. And originally, I think I said when I saw it, it said that they wanted to try to get 15,000. It was at like 14 and some change. Last report I seen, apparently this thing is up to like 18 or 19,000. It could be more than that by now because this was late yesterday when I last saw it. So who knows how many people signed that petition now? If you don't know, Tory Lanez is accused of shooting Meg Thee Stallion in the foot 2 times. There's been a lot of sympathy and a lot of fans, reaching out to Meg, sending their best wishes. Meg, we wish you a speedy recovery. There's not a lot to say about it because there's not a whole lot of information. We just know that, at least on my end, I know that she was wounded, and I know that people think Tory shot her. Outside of that, it's anybody's guess as to what happened. Other shit that's crazy. I'm watching clips of whatever this show with marriage boot camp or boot camp marriage or marriage counseling, some show where it's kind of like some of these people are from Love and Hip Hop, and it's black people and they're trying to get marriage counseling or some crazy shit like that. And this dude Vado like tried to yank up Tahiri by the neck, which I thought was just so crazy. And then obviously, people then have to put out a statement, and there's going to be backlash and people getting upset, and there's all these things. Yes, obviously. It was crazy when you watched the video to see that none of the other men got up. Now, I'm going to say like this, because when I first saw the clip, I was like, oh, okay, maybe all these niggas are suckers. But then my second thought was, well, if they're sitting there with their wives, maybe in their minds, they don't feel that it's their responsibility to step in that moment. And you also don't want to cause further conflict with your girl, because some of these women might get upset at the fact that their husband jumped to the defense of this girl. But there's a part of me that's like, nah, F that, because Buddy got up and then like it looks like he's like wrapping his hands around that. But at the same time, I'm gonna say this: the camera angle that I saw, it's he's sitting next to her, and then he stands up and faces her. So then his back is turned to the camera, but it looks like he grabs her in the neck area. Then this guy, he posts a tweet or something, looks like an IG, and he says nobody was hit. ... And then another comment says great editing. Just this thing on, Mr. Votto, please listen up. You didn't have to hit her in order for you to look like a freaking bozo, because she says something that you didn't like, and then you stood up above her, your wife, or a person you're trying to work out things with so they can become your wife, whatever the case may be. Someone you probably claim to love, but you stood up above her, and then you proceeded to be very physical with her in a moment of anger. It does not matter if you hit her on the show. Now the concern is, what do you do when the cameras aren't rolling? If she says something that you don't like, how do you plan to treat her in that moment? Bro, you looked real crazy. And I know you got a whole thing where you're like a street dude and like you got a rep to maintain and da-da-da-da-da. But I'm going to just tell you straight up, bro, all this up here, you got to get that shit right. Because until you have that right, you don't actually look like you're cut out to be in relationships with other humans. Because she literally, like I said, there's not a lot of context. The clip I saw, you hear her make a couple of comments, and then my man turns around and then goes for the grab up. I'm telling you, bro, it does not matter. There shouldn't be anything that your girl could say to you that will have you so tight like that. Maybe it's the pressure of the cameras, or, you know, maybe you just had a bad day. Maybe there's too much sun. It is hot as hell out here in certain places. I don't know when this clip was taken, but if that was happening anytime recent, I know it's hot as hell. But it looked like you did have a denim jacket on, so you must not have been sweating like I am right now. But either way, my man, you cannot put your hands on your girl like that and then try to say, well, nobody was hit. Like, even though I yanked her up, I didn't hit her. But it's, what will you do when you're not being watched by other eyes? Got to get your shit together, bro. You looked like a whole sucker in that moment. And if that's not you, what do you do to clean this up now? Well, I hope you have good people around you that are giving you some tips and some ideas on how to take steps to kind of correct this shit. One of them might be that it might be time to go just sit down and have a chat with somebody and get to the root of some of your issues. Just saying, man. That Votto shit was crazy. I like low key couldn't believe that Buddy posted well, no one was hit. Like, fam, that really shouldn't matter. You were not doing the right thing. Gotta be better, my guy. All right, let's see. When's the last time you thought of the rapper Loon? If anybody watching this show doesn't know who Loon is, Loon was a rapper who was on Bad Boy's label. And what is that record? I Need a Girl and I Need a Girl Part 2 with Genuine. And who was on the first one? Usher was on the first one. So Diddy, Usher, and Loon. And then Diddy, Genuine, and Loon. They made these two records called I Need a Girl and I Need a Girl Part 2. Classic records from like 2002. This is what I need. There's a pretty woman. No, let me stop. That shit was fire. Loon apparently, and I know this is crazy, but I saw this pop up today and I was like, yo, I was just thinking like a year ago, whatever happened to Loon? Because I listen to these records still, quite a bit actually. Apparently Loon's been in prison this whole time. I wasn't laughing at the prison thing. I'm laughing because I thought of you. And then it was crazy that like today you pop up. It's unfortunate that you've been in jail though. I wish this was under better circumstances, but at the same time, you're being released from prison. So this was at least a happy moment. Let's see. Oh, let's see. Loon has been granted an early release from prison after nearly 9 years. No wonder things were very quiet. And if you're not somebody who follows the rap game as heavy as maybe you should, like I follow, but not that heavy apparently. I did not know Loon was in prison. The rapper, who was born Chauncey Hawkins before changing his name in 2008 after converting to Islam, filed for an instant compassionate release in June, citing the coronavirus pandemic as the primary reason for release. In his motion, Loon, who is now 45, explained that his ongoing battle with latent tuberculosis, in addition to suffering from multiple bouts, each of acute basically laryngitis, acute bronchitis, and bronchial pneumonia. God damn, Loon, you're going to be all right, boy? Put his life at risk amid the deadly COVID-19 pandemic. The judge agreed. Shout out to Loon, man. Damn. So his health issues were an extraordinary and compelling reason for his release. He has also granted the rapper time served, explaining that he was no longer considered a danger to society. He was scheduled for his release, was supposed to be August 2021. So I guess he was arrested in Belgium back in 2012 and later extradited to the U.S. for drug trafficking. He pled guilty in 2013 to one count of conspiracy to distribute and possess with the intent to distribute 1 kilogram or more of heroin. Jeez. Sentenced to 14 years with 4 of supervised release. Loon was out there really putting in work. You know, a lot of rappers, they be talking about it, but Loon was actually doing it. Loon was being a loony. I mean, listen, my guy, I hope you're all right, man. I hope you don't stay sick. And I hope, obviously I feel like you seem like you probably are going to use this opportunity and not squander it away. I hope you don't go back to selling and doing BS. But at the same time, you know what? I don't know any details, and this is probably just mainly just a joke, but I blame that on Diddy. Diddy must not have been feeding him right. Why was your man a part of your label and he was out here dealing heroin? He shouldn't have to do that. All that money Diddy got, you couldn't put your man on so he didn't have to sell drugs no more. Get out of here, bro. It's probably not Diddy's fault, but I mean, listen, we always want somebody to blame. But shout out to Loon. Loon's getting out. Stay healthy, my brother. It's tough out here because some of these people are so damn dumb they don't want to wear a damn mask. So stay your ass at home. Make sure you quarantine for 14 to 37,000 days like the rest of us. That's what we all have to do now. All right, let's get to this. My man Cornelius Frederick, R.I.P. Shout out to the young fella. These people at the facility that he was attending, they definitely killed him. They killed him. I don't know if you heard about this, but this young man is 16 years old, and he threw a sandwich at another student. And the place that they're at is okay, let me tell you what this is. It's a foster facility, and basically it's called Lakeside Academy of Kalamazoo. Let's see. The facility houses children who are in foster care and the juvenile justice system. So they tackled him and restrained him for 8 minutes after Frederick threw a sandwich at another teen. When the staff finally realized that he was unconscious, they attempted to resuscitate him, but then the clip ends. So here's what gets crazy, though. These people knew that they messed up, and now they're going back through the footage from that day and tell me why pieces of the footage are missing. Like somebody went in and like edited out specific things. And when I did this story originally, I talked about how there are just some adults who are so garbage that they're not cut out to work with children. This is a prime example of that. And then there's also a prime example of just another gang of dummies who probably tried to go behind themselves and try to clean and cover it up and did not do a good job. You mean to tell me you're so pressed over what a 16-year-old was saying and doing that y'all had to kill him? But he threw a sandwich at another kid. Threw a sandwich. So that means my man Cornelius died over throwing a sandwich, bro. How many of us got into little food fight things when we were kids? I know I did. I was involved in a food fight. And I'm not trying to dismiss Cornelius's role in this. Obviously, I saw the video. He seemed like he was just a bit upset and maybe wasn't doing the right thing, but there's no reason why he needed to be killed for throwing a damn sandwich. Y'all could have, you have to talk to him, you have to redirect him. There are tons and tons of techniques that you opt to use before you get into physical restraints. Those are people who are just looking for a reason to restrain a kid, hurt a kid, and potentially kill a kid. Especially if you're working in that facility all day, every day, you're not getting paid very well. And then you got this little punk ass 16-year-old, 17-year-old, all these little punk ass kids talking shit to you. I mean, listen, you see how fragile a lot of these men and even sometimes women are, grown ass adults. Fragile, their egos fragile, everything about them is fucking weak because they are the type of people who actually will get mad at a 16-year-old cussing at them and then want to try to hurt that kid. That's how pathetic some of these people are, and that's who they have working at that facility apparently. Bro, you watch the tape, he throws the sandwich, does something else, throws something else, whatever. You see them come take his food away, and then he's sitting there, and then all of a sudden they're jumping on him. Overthrowing some food, bro? You mean to tell me you couldn't be like, yo, my man, get up? Even if two of y'all got to help him get up, walk him out, and you take him to another area, maybe sit him in a room by himself for a little bit. Let him just cool out. All that extra stuff that they did, that shit wasn't necessary, bro. Get out of here. That's goofy shit to me. Like I said, weak-ass adults who aren't cut out to work with children. It's sad to think that, listen, I've worked with some of these weak ass people that I talk about, people who aren't cut out to work with kids. It's sad. It's even worse when you hire them because they come to you being like, oh, I'm so great. And I have this certification and I know this and I worked here and I do this and da 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 da. And you hire them and then it's just like, listen, you can see them. You can see the look on some people's faces when they're arguing with a team. You can tell they're ready to like go to blows with them. It's like they're kids. They're kids being punks that don't know anything. They think everything they're saying and doing is probably funny, not realizing that none of this shit is funny. But again, they're kids. And I say that because I know how I was as a kid. I'm now thinking back on it. I'm glad that some of these adults didn't kill me because I gave them every reason to. But I'm thankful that at least the people I was around showed enough restraint, or maybe they just knew they couldn't take me. No, I'm just playing. They probably could kick my ass all up and down the panhandle of Florida, boy. But either way, man, we have some weak ass people walking around this damn earth. Adults that people hyped up. These are probably people that other people vouched for. Oh yeah, you definitely want this person. They'll be great if they work there. They're going to help change these kids' lives. Yeah, you mean end their lives? Not change them, end them. I'm not in the business of change. I'm in the business of ending. You started, we ended. That's what these people are doing. Let's look at these jokers. I wonder if they say their names. Say their names, say their names. They didn't put them on there. I want to find out these people. They got mugshots of 3 goofballs, 2 guys and a lady. All 3 of them look like different variations of Mr. Potato Head. We're going to get the background info on this, and we're going to continue on with this story. This shit is crazy, man. Like, even watching the video right now, you got 2 adults on them, and then 1 other adult comes over to move the table so they have more room to kick my homie's ass. There's 3 people on a 16-year-old. Now, obviously, he's not a small 16-year-old, so I get it. But 3 of y'all, really? Bro, they killed him. That's all there is to it. And then they want to be in there trying to resuscitate him. Bro. I wonder how any of these people have been sleeping at night. How do y'all sleep at night knowing that y'all killed this kid for overthrowing sandwiches? Regardless of what his history is, what he did that day, if he was an asshole or if he wasn't. Regardless of any of that, you killed a 16-year-old. because you're weak here. You're weak here. Niggas are weak. R.I.P. Cornelius Frederick, young fella. I assure you, bro, I would have loved you because I know I could have helped you. And even if you were beyond the help that I could provide, I would have found somebody who could help you, because that's what we should be doing, sharing our resources, leveraging them all to help kids who are in these stages. You're talking about a kid who's in the juvenile system or is in foster care. How do you think that child feels? Probably being abandoned his whole life, not having steady adults remaining in his life, being consistent, actually showing him love and compassion and support, all of these things. And then look how we had to go out, if that is his situation. And even if it's not, he's at a facility where he should be around people who are taking care of him, not putting him in a place of danger. He didn't even get that. This is bullshit to me, man. We got to do a better job with something like the hiring process or something. And anybody who vouched for these people that took this young man's life, you garbage too. Because you probably knew the people that you were recommending had attitude problems to the point where it probably would spill over into them hurting a child. You knew that about some of these people, but you helped them get hired anyway. R.I.P. Cornelius. It's all love, baby. Boo! You know what? When we first heard the news of Dr. Dre and his wife splitting, divorcing, I think everybody in that moment was like, Dre, it's over for you, dog. You a billionaire or almost a billionaire. She about to take you for everything you have. Dre finally comes with the clap back. He says, no, I have a prenup. Dun, dun, dun. Prenup ready. And their kids are grown. So he says he's cool with spousal support. There's no need to pay for these dusty ass kids. They grown. They can get their own money. Or they're just, milking that trust fund, which I don't blame you. Your pops earned it. And your mom earned it too. She's a lawyer. She ain't nobody in this situation hurting. But shout out to Dre for having the prenup ready. It seems like this will go off without a hitch. Listen, Dr. Dre, I'm sorry, but your ex-wife is fine. I don't know what y'all was going through, but listen, lawyer? Come on, bro. You had a lawyer? This is crazy. I hope she don't she might try to ruin him. But either way, if he has a prenup, he says he's cool with paying spousal support, but that's probably going to be the end of it. And I'm like wondering, when you're in a marriage like that and there's that big of a bag between you, is the divorce friendly? Like, do you think they're on good terms negotiating this? Or do you think she's like, listen, we're trying to find every avenue possible to get to that $1 billion that he has. Fuck his prenup. We'll find a way to beat the prenup. There's a loophole for everything. God, divorce is so crazy. I'm thinking if I ever get married, I'm praying that there's no divorce. And mainly just because it probably won't be able to afford it. You ask me why do I keep it? I say it's cheaper too. That's why I ride around in the Rolls like Wiz Khalifa do. That's an old classic Royce the 5'9" line. I love that shit. But it's true, man. I wonder what Dre's gonna lose. Probably 300 million of that 800 million he has. And you're probably thinking, oh, that's like $10 to him. Could you imagine losing 200 or 300 million? Yo, there's gonna be people looking at Dre like, yo, look at this broke ass nigga, like billionaires, because Dre was once up there. Now I'm sure he's gonna stay at that level, but he don't got Jeff Bezos money though. Damn, what's Dre gonna do if he takes a $200 or $300 million hit? He probably gonna need a stimulus check. God, what if she take him for the whole 800 million? Then he definitely will need that 1,200 if we ever get that shit. I'm saying in the beginning, I was fully against it. But now I feel like because the gym hasn't been open, I've just been inconvenienced. The 1,200 is kind of like a thanks for being patient. You know what I'm saying? It's like free snacks in the lobby at the doctor's office because they know you're going to have to wait. That 1,200 is that free snack. Run it. But I also feel like because, I remember what it was. Trump, when I was saying what was the other thing that he did that was corny, he was literally on TV crying about how people like Dr. Fauci and don't like him. Your man was literally on there saying how people didn't like him. And there's some people who believe that the holdup with the stimulus package is somehow tied to the fact that motherfuckers don't be liking this dude. And maybe he's just upset. I don't know if that's real, nor do I don't personally believe that that's what the holdup is. I'm sure it's just both sides arguing because some people want it to be this, some people want it to be that. A lot of motherfuckers don't want it to be fair, whatever the case may be. But there are some people who truly believe that the holdup with the checks is that Donnie is mad because people don't like him. Donnie, shut your ass up. You damn right nobody likes you. Okay. This is crazy. Oh, excuse me. What's your name? Pennsylvania teen charged with fatally stabbing ex-girlfriend more than 30 times. This is crazy. Buddy's 18 years old. He's facing multiple charges following the murder of his ex-girlfriend. This guy looks like a murderer. Gilbert Newton asked Morgan McCaffrey, RIP Morgan, to meet him at the Meadowbrook train station in Pennsylvania to discuss their relationship on Monday morning. Holy smokes. So I guess the authorities responded to a call Monday to the train station at 8:15 a.m. where they found the young woman lying on the ground unresponsive next to her car, which was still running. Damn. Multiple stab wounds to her stomach and neck. She ended up dying of more than 30 stabs and slash wounds. God damn, Gilbert, you sorry mother. This looked like 15 kids that went to the high school I went to in Gulf Breeze, Florida. They all look like little murderers. Now, being at the age of 33, almost 34, I constantly find myself saying when I'm, working with kids and mentoring them, I'm always saying to them, listen, once you get to later in life, you're going to understand things differently. You're going to see things through a different lens. Things will be different. My man literally just ruined his entire life, and now he is going to go to prison, and he will be some big ass dude's little bitch because that big ass dude has a daughter. And now he's going to bang that little Gilbert dude every single night to teach him a freaking lesson. And his entire life is ruined because he's probably upset that Miss Morgan didn't want to do something that he wanted. This is the problem, that when we don't teach these young men how to manage their emotions properly, and when we allow them to think that they are the end all be all and that the sun rises and sets on their asses, this type of shit happens. Morgan lost her life probably because this guy's dad is a loser and didn't teach him how to actually be a man. He's probably teaching him that, hey, you get whatever you want. You're a man. You're this, you're that. Nah, bro. It does not work like that. And also, you're a teenager. Just because y'all told each other that you love each other and then the shit ended doesn't mean the freaking world is over. God, teenagers are so annoying when it comes to that stuff. Oh my God, they broke my heart. Yeah, right. Listen, fam. There are plenty of fish in the sea. You're going to be all right. But instead, y'all be out here goofing. Y'all don't want to listen to nobody. That whole shit that you think is love, it can't be real because motherfuckers don't know what they're doing yet. And they haven't actually found themselves and discovered the things that they absolutely do like and the things that they absolutely don't like. None of you know anything at that stage in life. That's why y'all be out here making mistakes and being stupid. And now look at this bozo. He about to be in jail, getting it every night, twice on Sundays because he's out there fooling around. Bro, you stabbed her and left her by her car, fam? That's crazy. Teenage love, man. Reckless as hell. This is even crazier. Another story about a stupid teen. A High Point University student accused of planning a campus shooting pleads guilty. Here's the kicker. Only gets probation and a suspended sentence. I'm going to give you 3 seconds to guess what his ethnicity is. He's white. Yo, he looks like a goof, man. He looks like a goof. What is his buddy's name? Paul Arnold Stieber, 19 years old, of High Point University, has pled guilty in an arranged plea deal in court after being accused of planning a shooting on campus. He was found in his dorm in possession of 2 guns and some ammo. After being arrested, he reportedly informed police that he only came to the university because he wanted to be in the state of North Carolina, where it would be easier for him to get a gun. The 19-year-old college student was taken into custody and charged with 2 felony counts of weapon on campus or other educational property and 1 count of communicating a threat of mass violence on educational property. He'd been contemplating this campus shooting since December 2019. Jesus, man. This little nigga got he got probation and a suspended sentence. God, it literally pays to be white. You know, sometimes I like to think to myself, what type of time or sentence would I get if I did this? So I'm putting myself in this position at 19 years old. I feel like when the cop, whoever busted him, when they walk into the dorm room and they see the guns, if I'm near the guns when they walk in, I'm getting shot dead. It's over. If I'm not there, there's no way I'll get bailed out. I'm probably going to the worst prison in the state that they can send me to, maximum security probably. Let's see. And I'm going to be treated, my face and name will be plastered all over every news outlet. I'll be labeled a domestic terrorist and all these types of names and all that. It's a guarantee that will happen. Your man right here got probation and a suspended sentence. Woo. Oh yeah, good point, Markel. This guy's getting this while there's still a young teenager who's doing jail time for not completing online homework. Let's not forget about that. This is crazy as hell. Crazy as hell. Okay, question of the day. I feel like it can work with it. Okay. You're about to get in a car with your spouse or your significant other, and their mom calls shotgun. Does their parent get to ride in the front seat? The question originally was like, if it's the man, like if you're the man, who do you let ride in the front? Is it your wife or is it your mom? But I feel like it can be applied in multiple scenarios because like, I feel like if my parent comes, I don't know, if it was my dad, I'd be like, nigga, ride on the roof. Maybe you fall off or something. But if it's my mom, I feel like she's just in town for a couple of days. It's not going to kill my wife to let my mom get shotgun. Now, but this is my thing also. My mom has one opportunity to prove that she can be a decent navigator and maybe also work the iPod. If she messed that up, she got to go to the back because we won't have time for that weak stuff up in the front. But I genuinely want to know what people would think. Would you allow if you're a female watching this, would you allow your man's mother to ride in the front? Or is that your territory? And I also think in the original question, some of the people were saying that, like, what if the girl owns the car? Well, I feel like if she owned the car, nigga, I'm not going to drive and I'm going to sit in the front because I'm the biggest person out of all of us. And my mom can get her ass to the back. Is that wrong? That's probably grimy as hell. Sorry, mom. But at the same time, bro, I'm not sitting in the back. I'm too big for that. Depends on the vehicle, though. Because if it's a Hyundai Genesis, the sedan, I'll definitely gladly ride in the back. And anybody can have the front seat. I don't care about it at that point. And it's only because I've ridden in the back of that car and that car is immaculate. I love it. But let's ponder that for a little bit. If you're getting in the car with your significant other and that person's mother calls shotgun, do you give up shotgun and sit in the back, or do you fight for your rightful spot in the front seat next to your spouse or significant other? Let me know in the chat. Well, I keep burping. I can taste that Subway I had for dinner earlier. Well, technically I had it for lunch. Well, maybe it was breakfast. I'm on this little Subway diet, but I'm halfway kind of like fasting a little bit, only eating really like one time a day. It's kind of crazy, but I actually have shed some lb, so I'm looking thinner. But now it's kind of crazy because I can see the difference, and then I'm like, damn, I must have been real fat, and nobody said anything. So you know what, all y'all can kiss my ass, because y'all had me walking around looking like the freaking burnt marshmallow Michelin looking man, and y'all didn't say nothing, and I didn't appreciate that. And now I've realized it on my own. But I will say, losing the weight has, a anyway, my whole point in wanting to stay a little bit slim down is I don't want to ever get to the point where I can't see it. I'm sorry if that offends anybody. Listen, some of you guys, I feel for you, but I don't want to go the rest of my life not being able to see a very important body part that I have. That just seems like a crazy idea. So I had to let go of eating all the fast food and, try to stay off the snacks, and been not eating candy at all, trying to just stay on the water, get on these veggies, eating a lot of salads, and it does work. It takes forever, but it does work. All right, what else we got, man? Oh, I want to read something real quick that I thought was pretty crazy, especially given the time that we're in. I thought this is a very interesting story. So I learned today about this guy named James Meredith. And this story comes to us from Hernando, Mississippi on June 6, 1966. So James Meredith, and then in the photo, and I follow this account, and it's telling you what the slides are, but it says, on June 5th, 1966, equipped with only a helmet and a walking stick, James Meredith began a 220-mile march against fear from Memphis, Tennessee to Jackson, Mississippi. Meredith, an activist who had integrated the University of Mississippi 4 years earlier, organized the one-man march to encourage African Americans in Mississippi to register to vote and to challenge the culture of fear perpetuated by white supremacists in the state. Meredith crossed the Mississippi border on the morning of June 6, 1966, accompanied by a handful of friends and supporters. State police and FBI agents monitored the march while reporters and photographers trailed behind. A few miles south of Hernando, Mississippi, Aubrey Norville, a white salesman, ambushed Meredith from the woods and shot him in the neck, head, and the back. Before he started shooting, Norville warned bystanders to disperse and twice shouted out Meredith's name from the woods. But law enforcement did nothing to protect Meredith. So that means the buddy came up and said, everybody leave, and said, hey, James Meredith, I'm here. Basically, I'm here to kill you. And the cops stood by and let the shit happen. He survived his injuries, but was unable to immediately continue the march. Enraged by the attack, civil rights leaders organized to continue the march to Jackson in Meredith's place. On June 26, MLK, Stokely Carmichael, and Floyd McKissick were among the thousands of marchers who completed the trip after weathering harassment and physical abuse from angry mobs and law enforcement alike. Meredith joined the march shortly before it reached Jackson and led a rally to the state capitol. In November 1966, Aubrey Norville pleaded guilty to assault and battery and was sentenced to 5 years in prison. He served 18 months. He did 18 months after pulling up on Buddy, telling people to move out the way, and then shooting my man 3 times, trying to murder him. Only sentenced to 5 years. He did 18 months. Bro, it pays to be white. James Meredith, salute. Oh my God. I, it's dope when you hear things that you've never heard before. Today was definitely a day of learning, and it was dope to read that. Oh, and I read another story, but it was really good to soak up some more things from black culture and learn these historic facts about this guy literally just did a one-man march and took shells for it. And then survived that shit like 50 and went back to the march and said, nah, fam, we not having it. And he completed it. Shout out to James. James, you are a legend. You are a hero. I love you for that, my brother. That's crazy. But this other story I heard was of this little town in Kansas called Nicodemus, and it was like a basically an all black town. I think in its peak, it only had about 800 residents, and now there's only about 25 people that actively live there. But they have a big like celebration every single year, and I guess it normally when they have it, it draws about 400 or 500 people. People come back to it, and there's historic landmarks, and they were able to create a museum out of a house that was donated by a family that had been living in the area for a long time. This year, and it always happens the last weekend in July, but this year it is happening, but it's going to be online. And they're hoping to actually draw in maybe close to like 800 to 1,000 people, obviously, because it's a little bit easier to access since it's going to be online. So people from all over can still view the event. What I read, I want to say that they had parades, and like obviously they said they had a museum and they have historic churches in the area. But a lot of the stuff, because the town is old, it's not really serviceable. They can't like get things to be in the town to help the town generate money. They had been seeking donations to keep a lot of their landmarks open, which I think they had been able to reserve close to like $1 million to preserve like one of their Baptist churches, and I think a school, maybe small school, but I think a school nonetheless. But overall, this like literally sounds like an event that I want to see. So I'm gonna try to do some research and see if I can find where like if this thing is on a Zoom, or if you got to pay, like whatever we got to do, man. I want to at least see it. I think it would be cool because they say they're gonna have people on the Zoom calls, and they're gonna have like shows and dances and performers, all kinds of stuff. People giving speeches of all kinds. It sounds like it's going to be a great event, just another thing to celebrate black people, especially out in Kansas, which is super dope because there's not a lot of black folks out there. So shout out to the town of Nicodemus. I hope that they are able to get to the point where maybe throughout the course of this year, until this event is supposed to be scheduled for next July, because it's the last weekend in July every single year. I hope by next year they're able to actually have the event outside, and maybe that's just something that we could try to get a bunch of people to go to. I think that would be lit. Super lit. All right, what else we got? R. Kelly. R. Kelly says the feds are trying to deny him a fair trial by not revealing the identity of the jurors. Boy, if you don't just be quiet and go back to that cell, damn. Just stop, man. You're trying to do everything you can to get them to listen. You had your time to be out here. You abused the time. You didn't manage it properly. Now you're going to do a different type of time. Have fun in prison. Listen, there is no arguing. There's no backtop. I don't want to hear it. Go back to that damn cell and shut your ass up. We're tired of it. Stop talking. I'm tired of R. Kelly. He's trying to do everything he can to get out of there. Boy, you're going to stay in there. You earned this. You did this to yourself, all right? Ellen DeGeneres, she issues an apology to her crew amid misconduct investigation. I've not been able to stay on top of everything. That's what she said. I'm going to say this about the Ellen thing. This right here, this apology is corny to me. I get it. You're a big star. You're all these things, but you set the tone. You set the tone for how your show is going to be, because you are so big that there's no way that things like this can happen. And if you were the type of person that you say you are, people would have felt comfortable coming to you ahead of time, and you could have gathered everybody up and been like, I'm not dealing with this shit on my show. Everybody here will be treated with respect, fairness, kindness, all of the stuff. Everybody. And if you have a problem with that, you can hit the door now. Because based on how you carry yourself and conduct yourself on your shows, that's what I hear you saying in my head. Because everybody talks about you as if you were just so great. And I'm not saying that you are now not, but this just seems weird. I have not been able to stay on top of everything. Maybe it's time for you to take a break or refocus. You got to do something different. Because you mean to tell me you had all these things happening and you had no idea? Now, you knew. You've been letting it happen. Because what you have been doing most likely is you've been doing the same thing that a lot of these other people do, is that, listen, you're just faking it. You're pretending to be, always in a great mood and always super this and super that and da-da-da-da-da. But you're missing out on key elements within your workplace. People being mistreated, that shit is not hard to spot or recognize. If you actually care about anybody you work with, and if you work with these people for a long time, you notice their behaviors and you notice changes in behavior too. So you probably see somebody that you see every day and you'd be like, yo, everything cool? And you mean to tell me that these people see you smiling like this, all big and all perfect, because you are, Ellen, you truly are. You're super dope. Based on the optics, you are super dope. But you mean to tell me these people see how friendly you are and they didn't feel comfortable being like, I'm not going to lie to you, Ellen. Buddy at craft services been skimping on the blueberries and then kind of like trying to tough talk me about, I don't really like that, Ellen. They should feel comfortable to go to you with their, and obviously it's a business. There's a whole HR department. There's all these things, but that obviously means that somebody within your organization is dropping the ball. There isn't a way in hell that you don't know about that. So this little apology, miss me with that shit. Ellen not doing the right thing. And you guys are starting to see some of these people that we've propped up and put on a pedestal really are not all that great. They're regular ass people, and people make mistakes all the time. Just because you give a person a ton of money does not mean that they're just going to be perfect. No, these people are regular ass, stupid ass humans who make stupid ass human mistakes on a daily basis. This is a perfect example of it. Fake ass apology, girl, bye. NBA restarted tonight. The only reason we're talking about sports on this show tonight is because for both of tonight's basketball games, all coaches, staff, players, and referees all kneeled during the anthem. I think that's good. Definitely should kneel during the anthem. F that anthem. And that's not any disrespect to America. It's just a song. It's a terrible song that does not actually represent what the country talks about and says that they stand for. It's bogus. Kneel during that shit. That's your opportunity to take a stand. They want you to be proud for the country that you live in, but at the same time, the country that you live in does the most unjust things and does not give you a reason to be or feel proud. Why stand up and put your hand over your heart and salute that? Nah. And don't even try to be like, oh, you're disrespecting the flag and the troops and da 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 da. Nah, shut up. You can go back to the cell with R. Kelly with that shit. I don't care about that because that's obviously not what is happening. But if this country wants its citizens to be proud, they should give it a reason to be and remain proud. It's not that hard. And remember, it's a terrible song. Listen, the only thing that's really constant is change. You mean to tell me all this time we haven't thought just to have a new song? Come on. Why do we not just have a new anthem already? Who would we want to do the anthem? I say it's Bruno Mars. Featuring Bette Midler. That'll slap. I feel like it'll slap. Plus, it's just an anthem. You're only going to hear it at the beginning of sports games. You're not going to hear it anywhere else. Give it a little bit of flavor and then put Bette Midler on it. Because who doesn't love Bette Midler? It's really simple. All right, back to the craziness. Connecticut man arrested after decapitating his landlord with a samurai sword. Bro, listen, we are in a time right now where niggas are at their all-time crazy level. Like, if this is like the cap, so it stays in the frame. If this was the cap, and this is high as it goes, niggas are here with it. Crazy as hell. Buddy, okay, let me just read it to you. Connecticut man has been arrested after allegedly decapitating his landlord in a dispute over unpaid rent. According to the Hartford Courant, whatever, 42-year-old Jerry David Thompson was renting a room from Victor King. You know what? It's crazy. One of my homeboys out here, his name's Victor King. Vic, I know this ain't you because the guy in this photo old as hell. But shout out to my man Vic. So Victor King and Jerry got into it. So over the weekend, the two got into an argument over Thompson's unpaid rent. Sometime during the dispute, Thompson allegedly threatened King with a samurai sword. Niggas just be having those? Like, you just have that at your disposal? Fam, I got the sword for you. Keep playing with me. And he did it too. Oh my God. So on Saturday, King reported the threats to the police, revealing Thompson even waved the sword at him. The next day, friends of the victim say they could not reach him. Dun, dun, dun. By Sunday afternoon, officials forced their way into King's home, where they found his body slashed and covered in bedding. 6 hours later, Thompson was found in Hartford's North End, about 10 minutes away from King's home. So this is what make this shit crazy. Thompson refused to speak to the police. Instead, he wrote a note saying, "Paper in the glove compartment in the Jeep is all you need." When police retrieved the paper, it identified Thompson as a sovereign citizen or someone who disregards society's legal systems. According to reports, Thompson has also refused to speak to the investigators and his public defender, and he's currently being held on $2 million bond. Woo! I wonder what his rent payment is every month. I want to know the number, because then that means that's how much you were willing to throw your life away for. And it can't be more than $1,500. It's not more than that. Especially if he's just living by himself. You threw your whole life away for $1,500, probably less than that. Is that utilities included? Maybe $1,350, maybe. Threw his whole life away and hacked Buddy up with a sword, which is so crazy. The pandemic has put people in a state where and obviously people were like this before, but now it's at an all-time high. For whatever reason. Some of these people probably just need to get laid. Think about how calm you be getting after you have some good sex. I'm just saying, man. I'm not even being nasty. Think about the relief you feel sometimes after a good sex session. Depending on who you are, you probably don't walk away from that being like, still want to murder. Nah, most of us are like, yo, going back for seconds. Or if you're built like a musket and you only fire one time, you're still like, well, you know what? At least I know for me, it was probably cool. Now you can go on about your day. You feel relaxed. You're not as tense. You can get things done. It's lit. A lot of these people out here going crazy during pandemic probably aren't getting laid. They're just in a constant state of stress. And there's a lot of them who probably are getting laid, still stressed. Man, I hope you're not being like Jerry. Hope you're not playing with samurai swords and then going after your landlord. Again, my man probably threw his life away for less than $1,500. Put it in reverse, Jerry. You didn't need to do that, bro. That shit was stupid. Hella stupid. Like even this story where this former Buffalo State football player, Malachi Capers, he tragically is shot after an altercation at a liquor store. They literally show there's a guy standing in the middle of the aisle, and Malachi like is trying to get past him. He kind of bumps him a little bit, and then Buddy turns around and smacks him on the shoulder, and then they kind of get face to face. Buddy puts his drink down, he punches him, and then he runs outside. And Malachi chases him, but the guy is such a sucker that he punched him, he ran, and then when they got outside, he pulled the gun out and he shot my man in the stomach. He shot him. He literally was looking for a problem. You're inconveniencing people by standing in the middle of a walkway in a convenience store, and then you get mad when somebody brushes shoulders with you. Then you proceed to put your hands on them, and then when they chase you to kind of get some get back, then all of a sudden you go from wanting to be somebody who want to throw hands to all of a sudden now you're just a big bad guy with a gun. That's sucker shit. All of these guys, they swear they're so gangster. So gangster. Look at you. Sucker. You're a sucker. Everybody say it with me. Sucker. Very pathetic, man. Shout out to Malachi Capers, man. I hope he makes a full recovery, man. As far as I know, let's see. Does it say anything about his condition? I think he's okay. Jeffrey Thurston is the suspect. He has been arrested. Said he got shot in the stomach. I don't know, man. Hopefully Malachi's gonna be okay. Malachi, just a piece of advice though, bro. I know you probably a bad dude. Don't bump shoulders with niggas no more, man. Cause some of these people, they really are looking for a problem. Buddy was looking for an excuse to finally use his gun. It's not worth it, bro. Not at all. Shout out to Mr. Capers, though. Hopefully, I'm wishing you a speedy recovery, my bro. Be your own people, too. He's shot by another black guy. Boy, why is Buddy looking for a problem? You probably need to get laid, my nigga. Well, now you're going to jail. So you might want to refrain from that. Let's see. What else we got, man? So in the state of Nevada, the library's public support of Black Lives Matter is followed by a local sheriff's letter to the board of trustees saying, do not feel the need to call 911 for help. These people crack me up, man. Also, we need justice for Breonna Taylor and Elijah McClain and all the other fallen victims. Let's get it, man. It's just taking too long to get these killers arrested. Get them out of here. But this is funny to me that this guy, obviously you know what he looks like. You don't need details, but you know what shade he is. He's upset because the library. Can you imagine having a beef with the library? Imagine how lame you got to be to have a beef with the library. Upset because they support Black Lives Matter. Also, I was in West Seattle the other day, and right on California Avenue, right on the crosswalk, they have it painted Black Lives Matter, all types of different colors. It's pretty dope. I hope it stays out there for a long time. But a lot of these places, they're showing their support. They have signs, they have sidewalks painted. There's buildings that have emblems and posters and pictures and all the stuff. And a lot of these people really cannot handle it. It's crazy to think, because this would be my thing to the sheriff who said, don't bother calling 911. What if Buddy has kids? Say if your kids go to that library, something happened to your kids at that library. Do you still not want us to call the cops? You want us to let your son or your daughter get beat up at the library, get smacked up with a book, or get hurt, get abused, all of these things. What if your family's at that library and something happened? You don't want us to call them? The only reason he probably can make a comment like that is because he knows he will never have a reason to attend any of these libraries, nor will his family. They probably would never go now, because now if something does happen, they have to call. They still would call. If you don't respond to your own family, how stupid are you going to look? Come on, man. You're a civil servant. You work for the people. You don't get to tell us that you're not going to respond. The only way you get to say that is if you're actually just handing in your resignation. But if you want to wear the uniform, you want to don that badge, you got to remember the oath that you took to protect and serve the people of the community. You don't get to tell them, well, we're only going to protect you under the circumstances that you don't represent Black Lives Matter because we hate that. It makes us uncomfortable. Nah, you don't get to do that, fam. If that's how you want to play it, quit your job. Go work in finance or go be a truck driver or go do Amazon. Amazon getting money. Go do something else, anything else. But if you're going to say things like this in a letter, because you had to write a letter, if you're going to say things like this, then maybe this job ain't for you. I love that a lot of these cops, they're acting like that now. Well, good luck, because we're not going to come next time you call us. Like, okay, nigga, then we won't call you. We'll take matters into our own hands and let y'all just come clean up this mess. Because that's what it's going to be like every time. There's always going to be a mess and everybody's going to hate it. Just go out there and do your jobs. Don't be shitty when you do your jobs and no one will have a reason to complain about you. People are only complaining because a lot of you are acting shitty in your job. And then you have people who are next to you while you're being shitty, who are actually also being shitty by not correcting you and your shitty behavior. It's a very simple fix. Don't be shitty. Damn, I just solved it for you. Me, just a very good-looking African-American with glasses and eyes that twinkle like the stars in the night. I don't know. But either way, simple solution, man. Just do the right thing. This shit is crazy how many people don't want to do the right thing. It's not that hard. That's what she said. Let's see, man. We got time for one more story. Virgil, the guy who is responsible for making the Off-White thing cool and all that. We made fun of him about a month or two ago because when he was donating money, he only donated like $50 or some shit like that. This is a guy who's super rich, right? Apparently, he dropped some new merch today, and it's an I Support Black Businesses hoodie. Let me tell you the price tag on this. $440. The nigga that only wanted to donate $50 to a cause wants you to pay $440 for a hoodie. So, of course, the internet is dragging him. Let me read some of these comments. I haven't trusted him since he fucked up Pop Smoke's posthumous album cover by giving us this. The album cover was terrible. There's literally a picture of him that looks like it's, Get Out Part 2. Like, bro, I'm not going to comment on the family because I'm not going to disrespect the man and his family, but he looks uncomfortable in the photo. Virgil is the one black friend. Sorry, Virgil, but it happens. We need to come together as a collective and whoop Virgil's ass. Unless all of that 440 goes towards actually helping black families and businesses, Virgil can kiss my ass. Not the price tag and the crappy design and the glorified sweatshops hoodie and Virgil's career just ripping off young black designers and Off-White in general. That's a savage comment. I mean, this is as disrespectfully as possible. Fuck Virgil. Damn, Virgil. Listen, it's weird when you see guys like this. A successful black man who has the power to impact change at some of the highest of levels based on the people that he gets to rub elbows with on a daily basis. And because, I guess he is talented, but it sounds like he's just, becoming one of these people that we absolutely hate. He's reached a certain level and now he's kind of like, all right, I'm here. I'm just going to chill here and the rest of y'all can kiss my ass. That's pretty much what he's doing by doing this. You mean to tell me that you want to charge people $440 for a hoodie, my guy? The hoodie doesn't even look that good. Like, it looks like some shit that where you're like, hey, we want to go to the fair and have our names airbrushed on a hoodie. That's what it looks like. It's like fair type of shit. And I'm also, listen, I probably sound like a big hater, but I'm not a fashion guy. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but I have like the same like 10 to 12 different type of shirts that I wear. They rotate. I'm hella dusty. I don't invest money in fashion. I'm not a stylish man. I got some cool shoes, whatever. I got some good hats, but I'm not a stylish man. but the hoodie looked trash. I would never ever wear that hoodie, let alone give this ugly milk dud looking nigga $440 for it. That's crazy talk. Crazy talk. Yeah, Markel, we did hear that. One of the members of the founding member of the Roots died. But anyway, I'm not trying to be dismissive, but music will get talked about on my other show. So watch the other show and we'll be talking about that. All right, man. Couldn't get Track Talk Radio to work. I had let Sherry know. It's an unfortunate night that if you were listening on Track Talk Radio, you didn't get to hear this wonderful show, but it's getting too hot in here for me to continue this. We've reached our hour and a half almost, so I'm about to turn this off, man. It's been a good show. If you want to hear me talk more about founding father of the Roots, more music updates, sports updates, my video game updates, because I'm on Rocket League heavy now, and as well as book recommendations. Tune in to Starters on the Bench, the podcast, tomorrow night. It starts at 6 p.m. and it's live on Twitch under Memecle Jackson ENT. And if you have an Amazon Prime membership, you can subscribe to my little channel for free. If not, then pay the money for it. It's like $5. It's not gonna kill you. Anyway, I'm out, man. See you guys on Sunday.